Yeah.
I totally forgot to mention this thus far, but last night I did set up blueteamfit.com. It does now exist.
Wow. Well, I saw you created a channel. There you go.
Yes, there's a channel for it as well, and I will put it in there. But it's a terrible thumbnail. I clearly don't know how to set up WordPress. Anyway, I bought an Amazon light sale instance for $3.50 last night, and I put up a very quick WordPress page with some of the infographics.
I love it.
One of the weird hobbies I partook in diving into in October was getting certified as a nutrition coach through this company called Precision Nutrition. But they have a bunch of outstanding free infographics that you can just like troll around the website and like articles and stuff, and it's all like very like science based, like to the point, simple, easy to follow kind of stuff. And so I just have like a whole bunch of aggregate links on there, and that's pretty much all the site is right now. D4Fit has like a really cool forum and all sorts of stuff on their .com, and I'm like, hey, why doesn't Blue Team have anything? So I bought the domain a couple months ago, and I hadn't done anything with it yet. I'm like, today's the day I got to do it. So right now it's that. Maybe it'll turn into something else in the future if we can get a community around Blue Team Fit. We don't get enough volume of hashtags and Blue Team for fitness as Red Team and D4 seems to get, but we got to change that because I know there's more of us than them. So
I love sports, and to me, it's like what she was talking about how I love skiing and she hates skiing. Soccer
I have
here,
reasons to hate ski though.
Yeah. Like soccer, I love playing soccer over here. I don't get to play much, if anything. But yeah. So one of the things I was going to ask you, John, is like, what have you found that works for you now in this COVID situation where I don't know if you may or may not go to the gym. Like maybe a lot of people is like wondering, it's like, what can I do at home? Like she talked about dancing. I'm installing a hoop in the driveway. Like they came yesterday to put the concrete in. So by next week I will be able to, in the lunch breaks while I'm not teaching, I will just go out and throw a few balls.
Yeah.
I need to move. Otherwise I feel like, I don't have any energy.
Yeah. So, I mean, for me, I kind of talk about this briefly on the site. Like for me, getting exercise is one of those fundamental, what I call on the site, a keystone habit, right? It's one of those habits that makes everything else easier to do, including working and just everything else. Cause like I get more energy out of it. I feel better, whatever. So it's an important thing for me to always figure out how to fit in. And my key has been just having kind of a variety of things kind of available in the house. I've been a runner for like years. So it's always easy, if you have shoes, running is something you can pick up if you're interested in. A lot of people are like, oh, I hate running, Yeah, it's not easy when you start. Nothing is, right? InfoSec wasn't either, but you got yourself to where you are now. Really, it kind of depends where you start, but anything is better than nothing. And that's the key thing to remember. Wherever you're starting, doing something more and figuring out what works for you is way, way better than just kind of throwing your hands up and giving up. For me, I've been doing, I'm part of like a functional fitness kind of gym here in Philly. So they have like virtual Zoom classes. I've been doing 3 times a week. And the other days I'm trying to just put in cardio with like, I got a rowing machine that I just got during this so that I could do cardio inside, but, alternating between that and rowing, try to get something in, and, get the Apple Watch to inspire me, close the rings every day, set a decent target. And, at least as long as you hit something like that, that's what I try to do, at least, some kind of physical activity every day. Cause I find it helps me just kind of stay energetic and engaged and all that kind of stuff. And then, the nutrition advice that goes, from that website, there's a lot of really good stuff that of course backs that up. And, if you're eating sugar as your primary, item, you're not going to feel good. So like backing, the movement up with nutrition is another really, really important piece of that.
I have to say, maybe that has to do with, Jennifer, thanks for bringing that up. I think we missed that. The question from Alex, right? What health recommendations do you have for sustaining energy levels during the late afternoon? You can answer that very probably, you guys, but I can say what I have tried. I had problems with, she talked about asthma. I don't have asthma, but I had problems with allergies. And over the years, it got worse. When I came here to the US, we came here 6 years ago from Europe, it got like really, really bad. So obviously it has to do with, what we eat. So long story short, somebody told me, hey, read this book. And it was the Whole30 book, right? And it starts with food. Yeah, well, it's a Whole30 method, which essentially says for 30 days, no grain, no alcohol, no sugar. And sugar is not a big thing for me. Like I have my coffee black and I don't drink any dairy, for example, and I don't have any. But pastas and breads and cheese, for example, well, that's dairy sometimes, yogurts, and a beer here or there. It was a thing for me, and I did that for 15 days. Like my brain was like, it was super clear. I could focus on things, I could finish things, and my levels of energy in the afternoon, I would be like at 6 p.m., 7 p.m. I would be like, I don't know, I could run a marathon. Just 15 days without any grains, any sugar, and dairy. And the best thing is that by doing that for, I think day 15, I had a beer, something like that. I haven't read it. But long story short, I figured out there were certain things that my body didn't agree with. And the yogurt was the thing for me, right? I thought it was a healthy treat, and it was killing me. It would be giving me allergies. So I don't know if you probably have a better answer to that.
I have a resource on that one as well. Yeah. So certainly there are certain things that work with other, that are fine for some and not for others. I eat yogurt like all the time, and, that would be a killer for me if I found out it didn't work, but you never really know what that thing is. Sometimes people just go through life and they're like, I don't know, I just kind of feel like this, right? There are ways you can go through the, elimination diets is a way where you like get down to the stuff that's like very likely not going to cause a problem. And then you add stuff in, and then you can kind of see, like, if you suspect that's the problem, that could be a thing that is,
They make blood tests that will also let you know if you have certain food allergies. My wife did that, and funny enough, she has massive food allergies to eggs.
Wow. So you eat all the egg and bacon every morning.
Well, she used to have like 2 to 4 eggs a day because she'd have them throughout the day, and she didn't feel good. She did one of those blood tests. She cut that out of her diet, and that instantaneously, like 3 days later, she was already back and feeling way better.
Wow.
So that stuff can be helpful too. The other thing I'm gonna throw out is I'm just now starting to work out, and I don't like lifting weights. I'm okay with running, but if it's too hot or too cold, I'm picky. So oddly, what I've done is the Oculus Quest VR headset. I've been playing like Beat Saber, or they actually have fitness games on there as well, and it tracks your calories and movements and stuff. And I will find I actually work out longer than I'm allocating time because it's not workout, it's having fun.
Yes.
Especially like the Beat Saber game where I'm dancing all over the floor. I'm sure I look like an imbecile, but I enjoy it. And I'm pretty darn dangerous at that game at this point.
That's why I like the rowing machine. It's got like a holder for my phone, and I just like watch YouTube videos and pull instead of sit on the couch and watch YouTube videos.
Yeah.
So I just kind of like, I lose track of time, and it works well.
Yeah, I think what Justin just said is key, because if you want to be consistent at keeping any kind of new habits that you're gonna get, you need to find something that you enjoy, because otherwise you're not going to be consistent. You are not gonna keep it for long. So it's very good that if we are open-minded to just experimentation and see what make us feel good, and then do something that you're going to enjoy. You love watching your YouTube videos, so that works for you. So it's a good thing but don't be like, okay, I don't know what to do. No, start doing something, and then if that thing doesn't work for you, try another thing.
Just do something.
Yeah.
There's a question about hemp seeds, blueberries. I don't know anything about that.
Do you take any hemp seeds?
So antioxidant wise, like blueberries are one of the best sources for that. Like, juices and things like that are always trying to advertise based on antioxidants, but like, at least as I understand it, like nothing's really better than just a handful of blueberries comparatively. And it's not, $5 for a bottle of juice. That's in that respect, I know they're good.
Yeah.
But those juices might have sugar as well, like added sugars.
Yeah. Right. Lots of that kind of stuff.
It's funny when you start looking at it, right, and you realize how much stuff has sugar that doesn't really need to have sugar. It's amazing, and especially in this country, in America, it's like comparatively with Europe, for example, right? Like the amounts of sugar that's put into every single piece of thing. It's amazing.
even drinks. You get a Coke here, and it's way sweeter than in Europe. Way sweeter, and ice creams, everything.
Milk, like for kids, if you ever look at the box or the bottle for milk, even regular milk, not even chocolate milk, I'm shocked how much sugar is in milk.
Yeah, that is something very important that people should get educated about, is read labels, because you can find so many products that say natural, from a natural source, and
Low fat, right?
yeah, and that doesn't really mean anything. You need to read your labels and then be aware of what you are going to put into your body.
That's fine.
Yeah, natural is one of those words that's like,
yes,
it sounds like it's a good thing, but like poison frogs are natural, right? Like that's not.
Yeah.
There's a lot of poison in nature, right? It doesn't mean it's inherently good.
Yes,
one of the books I like.
Petroleum is natural too, right?
Yeah,
petroleum is also natural, but I'm not gonna eat it. So
that's yeah. There's a correlation there, but it's not a guarantee. One of the books I like a lot is In Defense of Food by Michael Pollan. I think he distills most of what to eat down really, really well in that book in a phrase he says, where his guidance is like, what is it? Eat real food, emphasis on real as in whole, unprocessed. Eat real food, not too much, mostly plants. And if you follow that, it's like you're going to be probably on the right track. Yes. He talks about, if you're going shopping, like look for stuff that is basically what it was when it was created, not like, turned into something else, not in a box. Things without a label are probably better. Shopping the perimeter of the grocery store is where all the good stuff is. The vegetables, the fruit, dairy, and like fresh things and meat and stuff's on the outside, and you got everything in a box that's been turned into something else on the inside. All that stuff is, highly processed stuff. Tastes great. It's literally engineered to make you eat as much of it as they can because that's their incentive, right? Apples don't have an incentive, but processed food does. And so like, it turns into a much easier thing to eat a lot more of if you're eating that kind of stuff too, as opposed to just like whole unprocessed stuff takes slower to digest and you end up eating less of it. And it's a good thing.
When I read the book, it starts with food. That struck me when it's like, get a bag of chips, right? And how fast can you stop eating? It's like, no, you open the bag, you're gonna end up with finishing the whole bag, and then you will feel stuffed because you're physically stuffed. But then you get a juicy, nice, great steak, right, with all the fat and everything, all the marble, and it's like, oh my goodness, I'm gonna eat 2 of these. And I don't know about you, but when I'm like a quarter through it, it's like, oh, I think I'm full already. So whether it's meat or just veggies or whatever, when you eat that kind of natural food, real food, it fills you up quicker, definitely.
And it keeps you higher energy longer. Sugar, gives you the rush, and then you're like, oh, nap time, right? I ate a bunch of junk for lunch, and then you get the crash and the blood sugar, and then it's it's kind of over.
Yeah, and it makes sense because it's nutrient dense food, so your body's gonna get everything it needs from this kind of food, so it's not gonna keep signaling that it didn't get all the food, the proper nutrition that it needs to keep working. So.
Yeah, on the Blue Team Fit page there's the top link is a thing called What Should I Eat? And in there's like this whole chart of like, eat more, eat some, eat less. Mm-hmm. And I like that approach because it's like, focus up here. Don't beat yourself up. We all eat ice cream sometimes, right? As long as it's not becoming the majority of your diet, that's okay. But there's certain foods that will keep your energy higher longer, will keep you satiated longer, more nutrient dense, and that's the kind of stuff you want to focus on to keep the energy levels high.
Yeah, and my approach, at least personally, is like, although we try to do our best, but we also try to be balanced. So if you're gonna find yourself in any kind of situation that you are not going to eat what would be ideal for you, don't beat yourself up for that. Just do your best, and then when you are back home or when you have a better situation or a better circumstance, then you go back to your best thing that you can do. But if you eventually are going to have something that is not the best, that is not going to kill you. So don't put more stress on yourself. That is not necessary. Try to be balanced, not to go to the extremes.
It's a really good page. John?
Yeah,
It's
I
awesome.
love it.
Yeah, Precision Nutrition has a bunch of awesome stuff. They have like, if you just search through like their blog section or just Google anything with their name, like that whole site is just full of awesome infographics that are very digestible and to the point. There's a lot of like common questions and stuff in there too that I get all the time. So I just wanted to like stick that all in one place because those are always the questions I hear from, people when I'm talking about nutrition and that kind of thing.
More water, less energy drinks. Yes.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah, there's also the what should I drink guide in there too. Yeah, both of those are really
no energy drinks. Those make me Hulk out, and I'm angry for like days after taking one.
Do you know what is something that it was like very I don't know, shocking for me when I learned about this, because I don't drink. I can spend my whole day not drinking anything. So it's not that I don't like water. I just drink water, but I could spend my whole day not drinking water. I have to push myself to drink water. So this friend of mine, she came and she told me, listen, you have to hydrate yourself. Your body really needs, your body needs water, but your brain needs a lot of water. It needs to be hydrated. When you don't drink water, your brain shrinks. And sometimes you get this bad headache, and it's just because you are dehydrated. And so when you get this headache because you are dehydrated, this means that your brain at that moment is shrinking. And I was like, really? I'm going to drink more water. So I just got a bottle of water for me, and I make sure that during the whole day I'm drinking my water.
I need to put a poster like here in front of me saying your brain is shrinking, right? To remind me to drink water, because I'm the same. I have to remind myself. Yeah.
That's the one thing I do every morning when I get up. It's like, make the espresso, drink a glass of water. Like,
yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. Well, I think we're finishing, right?
Oh, look at that. Carlos is saying, my wife does not drink water and have big headaches. Okay, please tell her to start drinking water and see how she feels. Because in just a few minutes, she can feel a great relief just by drinking water. We need water.
Does it count drinking tea? That's a question.
I mean, you are the expert, John, in nutrition. So
it definitely counts. I mean, tea is 99.99% water, right? But if it's like highly caffeinated tea, then there's a question of like, is it acting as a diuretic? As I understand it, for the research is kind of pointing at like, if you're a regular coffee drinker, then drinking coffee is probably mostly like drinking water, and it's less diuretic. But if it's the first time and you don't have caffeine normally, then it's probably not going to be as much of a help. But yeah, I mean, like, so check out the what should I drink guide on the Blue Team Fit website, and there's a whole bunch of kind of stuff. It's not like water is a wholly different thing than tea, right? Tea is mostly water with some herbs or whatever in it, right? It's either a tea leaf or something else. So yeah, I mean, if that's what it takes, then that's pretty much there. So as long as it's not tea with something in it that you shouldn't have a lot of, yeah, whatever works.